The lean construction workflow. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the planning flows to add value to a crew installing in their zone with their work package, and specifically how it helps the last planner teams or the trades. And this is going to be quite phenomenal because you're probably used to the last planner system, you're probably used to typical industry deliverables, and this is going to tie it all together. So the first thing I want to talk about is the macro, pull planning, and the norm. So this is key. The macro plan shows the overall project on one page, and it sets your milestones. But I want you to know that the pace here is the slowest responsible contractual pace, meaning it's what we're promising. It's not the ideal, but it is fair, it is competitive, and the GCs can win work this way. But this sets the milestone. Now what we do is 3 months before we hit this phase, we do a pull plan, which typically means that a month before, or 4 weeks before that, we are going to reach out with homework. Nobody likes the term homework, and ask trade partners to fill out their fastest, median, and slowest speed for their activities so that we can pre-identify bottlenecks. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to take this phase with its slowest contractual speed and we're going to do a pull plan. So this is just an example of a pull plan board. By the way, it looks different than what you're used to because we have the conditions of satisfaction on the left, we have our zone maps, our swim lanes, and then the overall pull plan. A pull plan should never just be a string of stickies for one batched area. We need to break it out by zone. And if the contractor is doing it properly, they will do it like this and your pull plans will look like this. So we will do a forward pass showing what activities are needed, then a backwards pass asking what you need so that it's not a push system. Then we'll compare the end milestone to the end, and all of this will be optimized to gain buffers at the end of the phase before that milestone that we had. So it's genius. Now, that pull plan is what is entered into your production application, preferably InTakt for us. We have location on the left, time on the top, your lock line obviously, and this is the information for the production plan. Highly visual, always in a flow for the trades with zone maps visualizing time and space. So your production plan is derived from the pull plan, and the pull plan was derived from the actual milestone in the macro. But again, I want to make the point that this duration was in the macro. When we go ahead and do the pull plan, we will gain time and there will be some buffers at the end for us to really absorb any impacts, delays, problems, variation, things like that. Now here's the key. In order for the GCs to be comfortable with this buffer and everybody knowing about it, trades, you cannot sandbag. No more. That's done. We're done with that. And we have to all be honest, open, and transparent. And the GC cannot bully anybody. We are looking for buffers at the end of this phase by the time we get to the production plan, and we must have them. You'll see this in a minute. And so we have to be responsible with them, and we're not just going to be using them willy-nilly. I've never heard of a trade doing that, but we have to talk in a way that makes everybody feel safe. Now from this, that's where we then get our look-ahead plan and our weekly work plan. These formats are auto exports in InTakt. It's quite beautiful. We're going to find and remove roadblocks and make work ready here. We're going to make commitments and identify handoffs here. So macro to pull plan to norm, this is your production plan, to your look ahead and weekly work plan formats. And actually in the software, if you're like, Jason, that's a lot of stuff, this is very simple. This pull planning is always going to be difficult. Automatic, automatic, automatic. It's going to save a lot of time, and it's highly visual. See as a group, know as a group, act as a group. Now when we look at this, it's based off of a key meeting system. This is the most impactful thing that we teach in the Takt production system. And if you're looking at this, actually, I need to win you over on this. A trade partner is like, oh, I want my people in the field, forget these meetings. No, I'm telling you, if we do these meetings properly, then it will make your entire workforce go faster and you're going to make more money. The trade partners that participate in total participation in the Takt production system, they make so much money. So please don't freak out about this. And only a couple of them apply to you, so we'll even freak out less. Number one, The team weekly tactical, by the way, everything here is trade focused. The team weekly tactical is where the project delivery team gets together, balances their PTO, balances the coverage, balances the items that need to be covered for that week so they can support trade partners. The PM supports the super, the PE, and the FE, and the super, PE, and FE support the trades. That's their only job. If they're like, no, I do things in RFIs and submittals. No, 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 no. Their only job is to support trades. And so we have to get them organized here as a support system. Then in the second meeting, the strategic planning and procurement meeting, that's where they're looking long term, the overall project schedule. And they're making sure the supply chains and logistics are set up for you to succeed. So it has a very specific agenda. They review the master plan, the procurement log, and logistics. But that, and you can combine these, by the way, or the GC can, sorry. But that then leads into the first trade focus meeting, the trade partner weekly tactical. Now this is what allows the team to create the look-aheads and the weekly work plans. In this meeting, you are going to be using that, and let me just go back because I got the clicker. So you are going to be using this format, and you're going to be looking ahead and finding and removing roadblocks. And going back, you're going to be using the weekly work plan to make sure that you're making commitments for the weekly work plans. This is where you do your short interval production planning according to the last planner system. This now enables you daily with the job site team to do not a pod meeting, plan of the day, but a pond meeting, plan of the next day. Don't ever do foreman huddles in the morning. It's either going to be a weak milquetoast meeting where you don't decide much, or you're going to reroute the crews after they've started. Either one is horrible for production. You do the meeting, the foreman huddle, to plan the next day. And this is where you can turn in your daily reports, do the planning, get your permits, make sure that everything is ready to go full kit for the next day. So this doesn't have to be very long. 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, not a big deal. But when your crews are finishing up and cleaning up, they're planning the next day. That way they can go get their generators, diesel, cords, ladders, whatever they need to get for the next day, so that your crew is ready to go. Now this worker huddle, crews tease me a bit, or trades tease me a bit, but everybody on the site, 5, 10 minutes, gathered together, and they are being oriented and connecting as one social group, and being taught a lean principle and doing a stretch and flex a job wide or functional area wide. And this is the best thing to work in total participation. So if you're thinking, Jason, this is a waste of my time, I'm going to charge you, I'm going to give you a $250,000 change order. No, 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 and some more no. If you want to make some more money, the A+ electrician can't have the framers being an F- score. Everybody's got to raise to an A grade, which means that everybody's got to know the plan, everybody's got to be working off the same principles, everybody's got to know the change points for the day, everybody's got to be in one culture, everybody's got to be shouting out and hearing corrections daily together. This is going to do more for your production than anything else. That then enables you to go do 6. That's where you do your crew preparation huddle, where you do whatever you want to prepare your crew. Then superintendents do 7, a zone walk to make sure everything's out of your way for critical handoff zones. And then the project delivery team, and this is a joke for the PMs and PEs, once they come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, not funny? Okay, I thought it was funny. But they come in, then you can, they hear the report from this, and this. Hey, what needs to be done to enable flow in the field? And then the cycle just repeats. This meeting system is the most undersold but important thing in the entire system. Okay? So these deliverables that we talked about are specifically to also make its way all the way to you in an effective manner. And if you think about it, a little bit of time, 5 to 10 minutes, this is not a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Meetings are the price we pay for alignment. Now, let me come in here and talk about Takt and Last Planner. Takt is where you'll do your overall project schedule, where you can see everything on one page with milestones, tear it apart, the GC. Then we're able to align our procurement, our supply chains to them with you in partnership and review it weekly. This is one of the most important things. This can't be a separate thing. They're all one production plan. Then that allows us to pull plan phase by phase. Remember, 3 to 4 months before we start the phase, so we can really detail it out and gain some buffers. Okay? Then that becomes our production plan. then we're able to auto filter out, and it is automatic. We're not wasting your time. You don't, oh, in the Takt system, you don't have to recreate this. Have you ever been on a job where the GC's like, you've already helped them create the master schedule. You've already done the pull plan, and they're like, now create another Lookahead all brand new. Now create another weekly work plan all brand new. No, 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 no. In the Takt system, these are filters of this, and you don't have to come back to it. It's beautiful, okay? That then enables the superintendent to make a clear day plan for that worker huddle so everybody knows the plan for the day, and it gets broadcast through a QR code so everybody has it. So that you can do what's called zone control. This is where the superintendent comes and hangs out with you. You're like, hey, homie, what's up? And are we going to finish by our deadline to the end of our zone? And the superintendent with you, or the field leads and field engineers, help you clear the way out ahead and punch as you go. Prepare, build, finish. Plan, build, finish. And it's the zone boundary and the takt time that allow you to keep that pace and know exactly what's going on. So this is what I want to really cover, and I'm not going to cover it in too much depth, but the GC should also be doing great buyout meetings with you, pre-mobilization meetings, pre-con meetings, initial inspections, follow-up inspections, and final inspections. If the work isn't clear by the pre-con meeting, and by the time you go to work with a full installation work package with full kit, then we're doing it wrong. Speed does not come from pushing, it comes from making work ready. The other thing is, Mike Tyson's famous quote is that everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? Let's say that all of the deliverables are there. All of the meetings are happening beautifully. We're ready to go, and all of these deliverables step by step are taking place. But what happens when you get punched in the face? You're going to have two things. You're going to have roadblocks and you're going to have constraints. Now let me be clear. Constraints are system parameters, system problems. And they should be adjusted and optimized up into the end of the pull plan. Everything after the pull plan is roadblocks. Constraints are orange, roadblocks are red. You're going to mainly deal with roadblocks, things that are in your way. Let's say that your job site is you have the start and the end of the phase, zone, 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 zone. The train of trades, you with other crews, are weaving through it around constraints, but if there's a roadblock in your way, we need to remove it. So roadblock identification and removal is absolutely key to everything we do. Now, one of the things that I want to mention is that when we're implementing this system in an accountable system, and I'll come back to that, there are again 12 ways to recover if you have roadblocks in your way or constraints. Now we want to remove the roadblocks and adjust the constraints, but let's say this roadblock hits you. We have ways to recover that don't shorten your durations, don't shorten your time, and don't hurt you, and it's in the 12 ways to recover with Takt, and we'll put it in the description below. But the bottom line is, if we're holding the project team accountable, each other, as one group, total participation, we might not even need to go here. There's a couple of key concepts. Number one, zero tolerance for safety and cleanliness. Everyone has to be beautifully safe and clean. The daily correction system. Every day the superintendent on the job must come up with 10 to 15 key items to fix for the environment and the rhythm of the site so that you have a beautifully clean, safe, and organized environment. And yes, you and the GC carpenters and laborers will help correct those items. Quality at the source. We don't leave anything for a downstream process. If there's something that needs to be fixed, we fix it right then and there. We do not pass defects down the line. Contractor grading, this is beautiful. People hate it when I say this, but we grade every contractor on non-subjective items, and that way the A-player electricians don't have to deal with F-player other trades. Everybody raises up to an A or B grade, and everybody participates. Now that A+ contractor can actually do their job. And then scheduling the team health. These 5 things, as a superintendent, were the most important things from an accountability standpoint that will prevent us from having too many of these delays and actually having to go to the recovery strategies. These are last line of defense. Like, they're the last thing that you do, but they are available. And there's 12 of them in Takt versus 1 in CPM that actually doesn't work. One of the cool things that you'll get in the Takt production system is the email. It will report out with days remaining, the remaining buffer, the end date, 4 different KPIs that you'll love, how many buffers we have left, and the key roadblocks that we're focusing on. As a trade, it's the red items that you're focused on, the roadblocks, with the project team to clear the way. This email will also give you detailed breakdowns for what's coming up next and any constraints that you and your team are dealing with. And the constraints, this is a big deal. Every phase will have your slowest trade or activity and slowest zone or most limiting factor. Knowing this will help us to know which trade do we need to help the most because they're the pace setter. So this is an overview, and I hope it gives you a really clear vision of how Takt and Last Planner tie together. I'll see you on the next video. On we go.